Guys, this is a really rare, significant piece of moto history. This is one of less than 100 that were made in 2012. It's an 1190 RS Buell from Erik Buell Racing. This is the carbon edition. This bike was designed to compete at the AMA Superbike races in World Superbike right out of the box. In fact, it did and podiumed many times. This bike is the only motorcycle in our generation that can compare to bikes like the Vincent Black Shadow, the Brough SS100, or the Crocker, bikes that today are unobtainium and run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, this is a 2012 model. This is the 2024 model. You can see the lineage between the two and the similarities. There's also a 2-page list of differences I'll get into in a second. The production model is 419 pounds. This one's 385 because it's all carbon fiber, titanium, billet aluminum, and magnesium, including the wheel set. This was a really expensive motorcycle, brand new. This one came from Fast. Here's the actual receipt for the motorcycle. Came from Fast by Faraci. In fact, I have a picture of Geraldo Faraci himself, the man himself setting this motorcycle up out of the crate, spinning the wrenches on it. So true motorcycle royalty. The 1190 RS Carbon Edition, this is serial number 16, as you can see, was out the door $44,684. But that doesn't tell the whole story. The gentleman who bought it was the owner of the EBR clothing company. So this was a show bike that was only taken to the tracks, Laguna Seca Raceway, all the national tracks that Erik was competing at, Daytona, and put on display along with the red, white, and blue one over there and the silver one. And he was selling the whole Buell motor clothing line, so he bought the motorcycles and the clothes there, and he'd display them together. And the bike was never raced or ridden hard. The gentleman who sold us the bike is now 76 years old and only sold the collection because he's getting up there in years. Now okay, I fat fingered the camera and I wasn't recording. I'm not sure where I didn't leave off, but just to summarize, this bike from Geraldo Faraci at Fast by Faraci was $44,684 plus the cost of the race exhaust, the titanium race exhaust, and the tuner was $2,000 plus the installation, about $46,000 or $47,000 it was. Put that in an inflation calculator today from 2012, and you'd see that $47,000 in 2012 is now $65,000 today. To put that into perspective, this 2012, which would be $65,000 today, you can buy the production version for $20,000, just under $20,000. And what are the differences between the production one and the AMA Superbike? I'll get into that in a second. There's actually a 2-page list in 14-point here, so quite a bit. But this is a spectacular piece of American racing history right here. A very rare limited edition that is also rare perfection. Factory racing superbikes are powerful and precise. They offer a rare communication with the pavement. Only your skills limit how close to the edge you can get. The closer you dance, the more beautiful it becomes. It takes the right partner responding dynamically to your lead, communicating what is happening at that edge. Fine racing motorcycles do that. Buying one of these has been close to impossible. A rare license and serious factory connections might get your name on the list, but most of us were stuck with bikes compromised by accountants and lawyers. Building one yourself is just possible, but they're very costly and it involves making many custom pieces. The results are seldom satisfying. That was then. Now we have the Erik Buell Racing 1190 RS. Nothing gets you closer to the track than 1190 RS. This bike was built with one goal in mind, running at the sharp end of the AMA Superbike races. One man's vision with no committees involved, just a dedicated team driven by passion and talent. 5 podiums in 2012 demonstrate how serious EBR is. Just over 100 of these will ever be built. In fact, it's less than 100 that was built, making it one of the rarest motorcycles ever produced. Most have already been spoken for. Do you have the skills to take this beauty to the dance? Don't miss your chance to find out. There is a registry for these on one of the EBR 1190 forums. One of the guys has a registry. I think 65 or so of them accounted for, and there's a picture of each one of them on there, including this one, the red, white, and blue one, and the silver one, which is a one of one also that I have over there. And what I found striking was that most of them are highly modified, custom paint jobs. They're erased, and there's only a few of them that remain in absolutely pristine original condition with only the factory race exhaust and tuner on there. This bike's 100% original right down to the tires with very low miles on it. So it really is quite an iconic piece. A little history of Buell and a little biography on Erik. The journey to the Erik Buell Racing 1190 RS has been a long and torturous one. Erik Buell and Erik Buell Racing LLC have been indomitably shaped by this journey. The result is this 1190 RS. Buell's madly creative tenacity was born for just such a ride as this. What began as a youthful aptitude for tinkering with machinery on the family farm became a fire in his belly early on to build the finest sport motorcycle on the planet. Engineering innovation after innovation along the way, the fire had already been ignited when in 1971, Erik found himself mesmerized by the quintessential motorcycle flick on any Sunday. He was electrified, hooked. Erik knew that he had to feed his passion, and the next step was to earn his stripes as a racer, racing with some of the greatest heroes on some of the most famous tracks. He competed hard and finished in the top 10 against some real legends, Kenny Roberts, Joey Dunlop, Wes Cooley, Randy Mola, Gary Scott, and many others, satisfying his inner fire and fueling his innovative spirit at the same time. After earning his engineering degree from the University of Pittsburgh, Buell shunned aerospace industry offers and talked his way into Harley-Davidson, where he built concept motorcycles and began his lifelong habit of improving on the performance of one bike after the other. Erik was always at the races with these bikes. It was always trackside. There's lots of videos of him from the pits, watching the guys race, and very excited about it all. And an easy guy to talk to about racing. You can just tell he was super passionate and always had a great story. We'll tell more of Erik's story with this timeline that my honey Christy made. It took her quite some time, but she documented the full history of Buell Hill here from 1983. In 1987, Rockwell, Maryland became the world's first Buell dealership, all the way to 2024. Kaplan Cycles, Rockville, Connecticut becomes the #1 dealership for Buell motorcycles. We just got the memo a couple weeks ago. We are the #1 dealer. In fact, we sold 3 of the new 1190s, the 2024s, this week alone. This one just sold to one of our clients. Has a sold tag on it. Kelsey. We have a red, white, and blue one. 2 red, white, and blues. I have a one of one orange and a couple black and reds and a couple more up in the showroom. There are dreamers and there are visionaries. Dreamers dream it, but rarely do they act. Visionaries differ in that they dream it and they make it a reality. Erik Buell is among these visionaries, and his inspiration is very much the same as theirs. It stems from a deep personal belief that his innovations will forever change the way motorcycles perform. From handling to braking to flat-out speed, his goal was to intelligently improve on what was in the market. His dream was to design and build a competitive AMA Superbike class racing motorcycle and make it street legal for a select few. Thus, this motorcycle, the EBR 1190 RS, was born. The specs are very impressive. 72-degree Helicon V-twin engine, double overhead cam, 8-valve, liquid-cooled, 1,190 cc's, 13.6-to-1 compression, electronic fuel injection, wet multi-plate slipper clutch, 6-speed transmission, and 175 horsepower in stock tune, which is very restrictive. We do have the stock exhaust that comes with the motorcycle. In this tune, it was closer to 195. 97 foot-pound of torque, aluminum twin-star frame, massive aluminum twin-star frame, and the 43mm Öhlins inverted forks with adjustable spring preload, high-low speed compression, and rebound dampening. The Öhlins shock has adjustable spring preload and high-low speed compression dampening, and also this remote adjuster also. Pretty amazing machine. Nissan 8-piston caliper on the front, and it has a Pirelli Diablo Super Corsa SP tires. Short wheelbase, 55.4 inch, super lightweight, 389 pounds with the stock exhaust. It's at least 10 pounds lighter with this exhaust on it, so probably around 375 on the scale. Killer specs that put this bike on the podium against the Japanese factory race bikes and the Ducatis that were literally $100,000, $250,000 race machines, and you could buy this right off the floor for $46,000 back then, or $64,000 in today's dollars. Super lightweight magnesium wheels. The today's production version has aluminum wheels, which are heavier, but this was a no compromise race weapon. Few motorcycles are designed and built with this very narrow focus that have become legends, like the Vincent Black Shadow. You can't touch one today for less than $125,000. We just went online and checked. The Brough SS 100 has sold for an excess of $325,000, and the Crocker one sold for $825,000 at Mecum. Their value today is staggering. This 1190 RS is just such a motorcycle, a racing superbike with lights. It's your chance to own a motorcycle, sure to become a legend. Don't miss it. There's only 3, and I'm only selling 2 of the 3. This bike is absolutely pristine, brand new, flawless condition, and it's just been gone through. I'll go over the work order. All the fluids have been changed. It's running VP ethanol-free fuel, has a brand new top-of-the-line battery, and it's just been professionally detailed here by the staff at the New England Motorcycle Museum. This baby's race ready. How to make this bike podium ready for an AMA Superbike class? Remove the lights. Replace the EPA legal muffler with a race-only version. Check, that's done. Replace the EPA legal ECU with a race-only version. Check, that's been done. Tune the same. Check. And then remove the cylinder gaskets to bump up the compression. The motorcycle has a thick base gasket, and that's so we can run pump gas in it. You can run it just on pump gas, but if you remove the base gasket, you'll have to run race fuel. Add fuel and oil and twist the throttle. I'd love to tell you what an ordinary motorcycle, even very exotic ones, take to reach that podium, but we don't have enough time to do that. This one's ready right out of the box. Has a cast and welded aluminum swing arm, super rigid, exceptionally lightweight, built-in swing arm stand brackets. This model has a magnesium rear subframe. The production one is aluminum. Ultra rigid cast and aluminum welded swing frame, which also doubles as the fuel tank with the cap right there. Keeps the weight low, centralized mass. Billet aluminum triple clamps housing these Olin forks with a steering dampener standard. Beautiful piece. You can't see it, so I'll show you a picture of the Helicon engine, 72-degree V-twin. These are the downdraft fuel injection intakes, and you can see this is carbon fiber on the production version. That is actually aluminum or plastic. When you open the butterfly valves and you look right into the head, you can see how heavily this engine was ported right out of the crate. Unlike the production version, it has CP forged billet pistons, forged Carrillo rods, full carbon fiber airbox with dual 62mm throttle bodies, dual overhead cams, and ported and flow optimized heads with beryllium, copper, titanium valves. All upgrades from the production version. This is an Olin's TTX 36 road racing shock, fully adjustable with a hydraulic preload adjuster. Olin's 43mm road racing forks with 30mm cartridge and billet lowers. Accasato, fully adjustable racing controls and master cylinder. AIM data acquisition digital display. This is a $2,000 item back in 2012. Upgrade over the standard factory one, which is a little more pedestrian for sure. This perimeter disc is a work of art. Helps reduce total wheel brake weight by 30% over a conventional setup. Cycle World magazine said they are superb, light, powerful, and controllable. This carbon fiber scoop, which is an exclusive on this model, directs air from, I've seen Erik explain this, with the disc right here behind the rim, it doesn't get as much air because the tire, the air goes off and out when it hits a tire. So he put these way out here, so it works as a twin ram air, cooling the 8-piston caliper, Nissan caliper, this massive rotor. Reduces the brake temperature by 50 degrees Celsius. These are magnesium wheels. They look like the production wheels, very similar design, but these are magnesium, much lighter. All of this reduces the unsprung rotational mass on the front and rear wheels. It came in 2 colors, the carbon fiber edition and the Mayhem Red edition. On the forum that I looked at, there's maybe, I don't know, maybe half of them on the forum are original color. All the other ones, like I said, are race bikes with factory racing logos from AMSOIL or whoever else. So to find one in brand new, pristine, original condition like this is, well, unobtainium. Very rare. In fact, this was the first bike that Erik had built without the corporate penny pinchers at Harley Davidson dumbing down his stellar designs. And he built this to compete with the best in the world. Fast by Faraci was a Harley franchise, and they picked up the Buell franchise because, well, Buell was beating their motorcycles on the track and to the podium. And I guess if you can't beat them, join them. Here's the photo I told you I had of Geraldo Faraci himself, the man, legend, actually setting this Buell up at his dealership, spinning the wrenches on it, hooking up the battery. I've got the manual on CD. I've got the work order for what we've done to it. And here's another photo of it being set up. And I have every receipt, including the 600-mile service, the factory race pipe, the original sales invoice, everything. Like I said, the original owner was Rob. He was the guy who purchased this brand new. It's only been titled under his name ever. And I've got the whole service records and everything for it right here, including the clean title, of course. The bike has had all its services, including the fan upgrade, which is something they recommended. If you look at the design of this radiators here, you can see, I heard Erik describe why there are two radiators on the outside instead of one big one in the front. And that was one to have the cool air come in the front here. And once it goes to the hot radiator, it would come out through this port on the side here and shoot it away from the rider, so he wasn't getting the hot air, and away from the engine, so the engine was only getting cool air from the front without the heat from the radiators. So that was another one of his design features of the 1190. Let me show you the 2-page list of what's different between this one and the production one, and why it costs 3 times as much. Magnesium wheels are a big part of that. Also, the swing arm is a little slimmer design than on the production version over here. This also has a carbon fiber front fender. The production version is plastic. Full carbon fiber bodywork, including the belly pan, which is not carbon fiber on the production one. The production one is carbon fiber everywhere else, but not the belly pan or the front end fender. This also has a carbon fiber airbox, which you can't see here, but the production one's plastic. The sprocket cover and rear master cylinder mount are also carbon fiber. The fairing support and headlight mount are carbon fiber. Different headlight front fairing altogether. You can see everything in there is all carbon fiber, all the mounts and everything. Different headlight and front fairing altogether on the race version. This also has the carbon fiber front air duct. That's not present on the production model. The fairing is mounted with quarter turn quick release fittings, making it easier to service it during a race. Big thing, Olin suspension front and rear. That's $5,000 for the forks and $2,000 for the shock upgrade. Fully adjustable with a remote reservoir rear. The cooling ducts are carbon fiber, unique to this bike. The magnesium rear subframe, I think I mentioned that. The triple tree is unique. The Vortex clip-on handlebars are unique from the production version. The Acasado brake and clutch master cylinder with titanium hardware is unique. The quick release quarter gas cap, if you can compare that to the production one, you can see that is much different also, as is everything under here. So it truly is a works bike for the public. It has that $2,000 digital display. The rear wheel adjusters have rails for quick tire changes and GP style spools to raise the rear end so you can do super fast factory tire changes. Also has a slimmer lithium battery to fit in the smaller rear subframe. The engine difference we mentioned has a Carrillo rods out of the box. The engine has 2 base gaskets, a lower compression ratio for pump gas. So if you want to make it ready for Daytona, you can run it like this, and you want a few more horsepower, pull the base gaskets out and run race fuel only. Has an enlarged oil cooler and large factory radiators with larger cooling ducts. The fill spout and reservoir removed to the rear end of the motorcycle, where you put the coolant in and has a true 4 into 2 into 1 exhaust, titanium factory exhaust. Beautiful. And also this engine has 2 ECUs versus 1 on the production model. So what have we done since we got the bike from Rob? Well, first thing we did is drain the fuel from the tank and put VP94 fuel in it. Remove the original battery, installed the new full spectrum Pulse IPT P4 battery with a battery tender lead so you can plug it in. Drain the oil from both sides of the engine, replace the oil filter and with AMSOIL 2050 weight. Tested the coolant for pH level, acidity, and freezing point. Coolant passed the test. Topped off the coolant reservoir. Pulled the air box. Checked the air filter. It was absolutely pristine, brand new. Reinstalled it in the bike. Reinstalled the air box and cover. Flushed the front brakes with Motul DOT4. Racing brake fluid. Bled them to perfection. Flushed the hydraulic clutch with Motul DO24 racing fluid. Bled it to perfection. The rear brake master cylinder was dismantled and rebuilt. Rebuilt the rear brake caliper, bled the rear brakes with DOT4 Motul racing fluid. Set the chain tension, set the tire pressures to 36 PSI, front 38 rear. Started the bike, checked the oil level, topped off the coolant reservoir, tested all electronics. They are all perfect. Replaced the rear turn signals, the original turn signals on the back. They're plastic and they are prone to fading or whatever. Braking, so those were replaced, and that's it. That's all it needed. And then went to the detail shop where it was washed and given a full rotisserie detail top to bottom. We used new coat, ceramic coating. The Lars Anderson Museum told us about that stuff, so it's a once a year application, and you can see the shine on the finish is beautiful. All the paint has been polished and ceramic coated. Every square inch of it has been gone over, and it's absolutely freaking immaculate. The odometer is 1,132 miles. All the services have been done. I have all the service records, including the 600-mile service that was done by Fast by Faraci himself at his shop. Spectacular machine. I don't know if I referred to this poster much, but this Buell timeline is pretty spectacular. It shows the first Buell all the way up to the 40th anniversary model, and the Freedom Edition, which we have 2 of those in stock. If you want one for Christmas, put it under the tree, give us a call. And then the upcoming Super Cruisers. So 40 years of Buells, 136,000 Buells have been made. The first year of the Helicon engine, the 1125R, they won the AMA Super Sport National Championship with that. They've won 2 AMA Hill Climb Championships with this by Logan Sapala, undefeated last year with this exact same engine in this motorcycle with just the same exact setup, race tuner and a pipe, and that's all it took. Undefeated. Also won multiple drag racing championships and podiumed quite a few times with the 1190 RS, this exact bike that we're talking about here, both in World Superbike and in AMA Superbike racing against Ducati and the Big Four and everybody else. This is a genuine super premium factory superbike right out of the box. Very few have ever been made like this before. The ones I mentioned that were in this category, like the Vincent Black Shadow, which started $125,000 today, or a Brough Superior, which I've seen sell on Mecum for over $300,000 recently, up to a $800,000 Crocker. They were all American superbikes that were the best in the world and the best bikes out of America at that time, and they didn't make a lot of them. So these are totally undervalued at this point, but down the road, since most of them were raced and abused, how many are you going to find that are like this one right here, or its brother here, the 212 mile? This is the lowest mile one with this one of one. These were all painted in the Buell factory by their painter, and they only made one in this red, white, and blue color, and they made one. This is number 34 here in this brushed aluminum finish. This is a very unique one of one, as is, look at this, just beautiful. This one has no miles on it too. They're all in pristine original condition. There are 3 of them. I can't keep them all. It would be greedy too anyways, probably. Maybe I'll keep 2 of them, I don't know, but one of them is going up for sale. So if you're interested, give us a call, 860-454-7024. My son, Kenny Jr. will take care of you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and a little history about Buell and everything I could tell you about this motorcycle. I wish my videographer, Ronnie, was here because I know I screwed up a couple times. Sorry about that. Did the best I could. It's late on a Friday night here. It's the 20th shortest day of the year, and it's 8:20 on a Friday night. Everybody's long gone. I got to get out of here and get home to Christy. Thank you all for watching. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year here from the New England Motorcycle Museum. Thanks for watching. God bless America and American Superbikes.